Yo, what's going on? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Monday, September 23rd, 2004. It is the last live stream before Berlin. I leave Wednesday, middle of the day, and then I'll get there Thursday morning. It occurred to me that I have to double check to make sure I have a hotel room for the first night that I'm there. But that's not your problem. That's my problem. First, let's get to saying hi to everyone who is listening to this live stream on the audio only version. Hopefully you guys are having a good run. The weather has been getting nicer here in Crystal Lake. Hopefully that's the same case for you guys. I know some of the country, guys got a hurricane coming in, maybe. So hopefully if that's the case for you, hopefully you're doing all right. Everyone else is enjoying the good weather. I got to tell you, take advantage of it. Yesterday and today, the weather was pretty nice for running, and I felt invincible. I feel really good. I'm also tapering, so it's either going to feel really good or feel really bad, one or the other. I'm in the really good spot right now. Hopefully you guys are too. And for everyone else watching this later but not live, welcome to the number one place to figure out what you're going to pack when you go to Berlin, and also have a running live stream to listen to in the background. So welcome to you guys as well. I haven't started packing yet, but I've been thinking a lot about packing. I did go to the grocery store over the weekend. I bought a bunch of snacks that I would like to have in my hotel room. Eating while I'm traveling has been a problem for me, apparently, and I've been working on it this summer, especially with all the travel that I did and all the trips that I've been going on. And the solution that I've come across is, even if I'm in places where it's convenient for me to go out and get food, there just isn't, I'm not getting enough of it. So I just got to bring it with me. And I got some questions that we can talk about in a minute. Let's see who else is here in the chat though. Eliza says, "Hi CoFam, it was a struggle to get out this Monday morning, but I did and feel better for it." Isn't that how running always is though? And I hope everyone is doing well. Awesome. Pete G says, "Hi Co, happy Monday. How's it going?" I'm feeling pretty good. I'm a little bit nervous that I'm like underprepared, and I do want to finish yet another video before I go to Berlin so that there's content from while I'm gone. So that getting work done ahead of time so that I can go and be away from home when I can't work, that always stresses me out a lot. So that's the stress that I'm dealing with right now. Sega Dreamcast says, "Yo, what's going on? Cheering for all those Kafuzi Run Club members racing Berlin. Do it big." We're going to try. We're going to try. All right. Mark says, though, "Hey, all 3 weeks till Chicago. Unfortunately, I'm dealing with several small things as I near the transition to taper. Late last week, it was some tendonitis in my knee. Now it's an issue with my abs. Mark, it's all in your head. It might not be. In case it's not, take it easy. But I'm telling you now, it's in your head. You're going to be fine. You're going to be great." And Cal White says, "You know what? I ran Berlin last year. It's bringing back some fond memories with everyone getting ready this week." I have not figured out where my hotel is. I mean, I'm going with Sports Tour, so they've taken care of all the arrangements, and I forget what days they book it from. I think they book it from Friday to Monday morning, and I'm getting there Thursday. I just realized that when I went to London, I had to book some extra days in a different hotel. But I haven't looked to see where like my Sports Tours hotel is. I haven't looked to see how far that is from the expo. I'm assuming it's all relatively close because Sports Tours, that's how they pick stuff. They take care of all that stuff for you. That's great for people like me who are bad at planning. But I haven't looked at anything. Herm, if you're here, hopefully you know how to get to the expo. Maybe you can help me out. And Alex Placencia says, "Hey, first time in a long time, I catch a live stream." Awesome. Well, welcome back. And if anyone else is here and you're new, it's your first time, maybe you came with a running shoe question, leave me an emoji, your favorite emoji. It could be the poop emoji. That's a lot of people's favorite emoji. Leave an emoji down below and let me know, and I'll make sure your question gets answered if you came to get a question answered. And Herm says, "We're close to each other. That's all I know." Okay, well, that's good. We'll figure the rest out from there. In London, we were not close to each other, but we found a way to get some chicken for a meal. All right. Calvin says, "You know what? Get those liquid carbs. Fruit juices have tons of carbs, and it's easier than force feeding bagels." I agree. Is it the same though? Does it hit you too fast? Does like the metabolic pathway not convert to glycogen as well if it's liquid versus solid carbs? I'm worried about the rate of carbs, like a big bolus of carbs. Like if I drank like a big gulp of Mountain Dew, I feel like that's different than eating 2 bagels, even though calorically, I think it's pretty similar. You know what I mean? I don't know. Here's another question I have for you guys. And you know what? I should know the answer to this, but but I don't. And maybe you guys do. When I'm traveling internationally, like you can't bring like wildflowers and other like agricultural products. You know what I mean? Can I bring if I make oatmeal raisin cookies at home, can I bring that? Or do I have to declare it in customs? If I bought Cliff Bars and they're oatmeal raisin walnut, do I have to declare that? I've got 6 of them, you know? So that's a lot. I don't know. Maybe anyone knows. All right. Mark says, I think my ab issue is related to the lifting and carrying large boxes. We were prepared to move to a new house on Thursday. Oh, yeah. You also have a new move during your marathon training block. I know you can't really plan around that, but good luck, Mark. That's a lot. You got a young one at home training for a marathon and you're moving all at once. All you got to throw in there is a public speaking engagement, and you've got like the trifecta or maybe all the infinity stones of the things that stress people out. All right. Eric says sealed packages is fine. You're good on Cliff or anything like that. Okay. And Cosmic Pineapple Michael says, I think Tommy Runs on the Relay podcast said he brought bagels to Tokyo from the US. He brought blueberry bagels, and I wasn't going to rat him out, but I had questions about that situation. You know what I mean? Sean Devlin says maybe they're invasive oatmeal cookies. Yeah, I was like, I thought that with the agricultural products, I thought that maybe they were worried about pollens and maybe insects that travel along with foods, like if you're bringing a pineapple or a crate of bananas, So I didn't think it would make a big difference. But I do remember when I went to Japan, they gave me an apple in American airspace on the airplane. And then I didn't eat it. And I was going to bring it through customs in Japan. I think it was in Japan. Maybe it was in Germany. I don't know. It was somewhere. Where in American airspace, I got an apple. In the country I landed, they were like, hey, apples are not okay. So I ate it first before I went through customs. So like, I don't know. I'm such a rule follower. I don't want to break any rules. Stevie76 says, is peanut butter a liquid? Yes, it's considered a liquid. So I was thinking about bringing a jar of sunflower butter. But because that's what I eat on my toast a lot of mornings before my runs. But I do feel like that is something that cannot come through carry-on luggage. You have to check that. And Johnny Dodgen says, I enjoy Berlin. I've noticed the 6 stars are waiting at the finish line for those of you completing the majors. How do they know? Do you contact them before? Do they contact you? So they did it in Tokyo too. I think they do it at all the majors. There's a separate line that you can go to collect your 6-star medal. I don't know if that's new or what, but I've seen it in multiple marathons now. You have to let them know. And so like, you have like a 6-star, like an Abbott, you can sign up for an Abbott account and it already keeps track of your races. But for me, like in Tokyo, since someone else had registered for me, like it didn't automatically, like, and they entered my name kind of funny, it didn't automatically register that it was me. So it only thought I had 4 stars instead of 5. So like 2 months ago, I let it know I had 5 stars. And then once you get your bib, you let it know that you're going to be getting your 6th at whatever race it is. For me, it's Berlin. And then they confirm your prior times so that there's no confusion at a finish line or anything like that. So they confirm your prior times, and then they let you know, like, all right, we know that you're trying for your 6-star in Berlin. And then in Tokyo anyway, I know this because Ashley Mateo was there and she was getting her 6-star in Tokyo. She had to go somewhere at the expo to kind of check in and let them know that she was there. And then at the finish, I did see some people like go to a separate line. I saw this in Boston as well. I think I saw it in Boston. But I'm sure I saw it in Tokyo. People went into a separate line to get their 6-star medal. So that's how that works. All right, Video Guy Man 7 says, what snacks did you buy for the trip? This is probably one of the best questions anyone's ever asked me. It's not the best, but it's a good one. I'm very excited about it. So over the course of my travels, I realized that when I get back to a hotel room on a trip and it's either later than room service is open and later than like late night food is open, or I don't feel like leaving my hotel room again, Here's the things that I tend to want. I tend to want potato chips, and I tend to want something savory in addition to potato chips, and sometimes I want something sweet like candy. Rarely though. So what I've tested out in the Boulder trip was something that other things savory was always a tricky part. If I eat meat, jerky would be great because that travels really easily. You don't have to worry about refrigerating it, and it's satisfying. I tried a mushroom jerky for the Boulder trip. It was a Korean barbecue flavored. It was really good. So I got a Korean barbecue flavored mushroom jerky, and then I also got a Hawaiian teriyaki mushroom jerky for the trip. I'm pretty excited to try that. So I have 2 bags of veggie jerky, and I have a sleeve of Pringles. And I picked the Pringles because it has its own carrying case so that I could stick it in a suitcase and it won't get crushed. So I'll have potato chips for when I arrive. I know they have potato chips in Germany. It's not about that. It's just, it's already in my suitcase. It's really nice and easy. And then I bought a box of Cliff Bars, oatmeal raisin walnut, and then a box of Kind Bars, dark chocolate sea salt. Those are my favorite. That's like pretty much my favorite snack. You can put me on a deserted island with just all that, and I wouldn't even notice the passage of time. I'd be so happy. All right. Wojciech Malkowicz says, what are we doing for Shakeout Run? Believe in the Run Discord group is doing Berlin Braves Bandit on Saturday too. Okay. Because I was just, I was just thinking about that, and I was kind of planning I'll just do the Believe in the Run one. But that's on Friday, right? The Believe in the Run one. I'll still probably go to that one. I don't know if I have a run scheduled for that day or not, but I'll probably just go. Maybe I'll run or not, but I'll just come say hi. And then Saturday, I'll have one with sports tours that I'll go on. So I'll probably just do that. If time permits, I might go to the Berlin Braves Bandit one just to go say hi to everybody, but I don't know if I'll run. I'm trying to keep it low key. I'm trying to be responsible so I can actually run a decent race and not overextend myself. I'm trying to act my age a little bit, I guess. Melvin Uming says, happy taper to the fellow Chicago 26.2 runners in the group. Question for Co. For some reason, I was assigned a B Corral bib. And even though I'm more of a 315, 320 guy. Did you have any issues in 2022 moving back? Moving back is always easy. In 2023, last year, I moved back from Corral A, which was the first time I ever had a Corral A assignment, but I didn't want it for 2024 because I wanted to go back to like Corral J. I walked back an entire wave, and then I was in I waited till for like Corral K or L maybe. No problem walking back. It's super easy to walk backwards. Just find a side and then just start walking back. People will let you go back there. And Mustache Runner says, did you say you're not doing a shakeout in Berlin? That's correct. I'm not doing one of my own. I thought I was going to do one. There was a little bit of miscommunication, but it ends up we're not going to do one. And I'm not too worried about that. But if you want to see me, I will for sure be at the Believe in the Run one on Saturday. Whether or not I run is another question, but probably. I just haven't looked at my training plan. I can look at my training plan. Let me look at my training plan real quick. Let's see. Taper, Berlin. Actually, I have an off day on Friday. So I'll probably still go. And just hang out in the back. Take it super, super chill with everybody. I guess I'll have to see where it is. But I'm going to plan on being there. And then I may or may not be at the Bandit one. And then I'm going with Herm to the expo on Thursday. I don't know what time we're going, though. Stephen C. says, they registered your name incorrectly. You're not Mr. Yo, what's going on, Kofuzi? Sometimes when other brands, ASICS usually doesn't have this problem. But I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's like they did have my middle name or they didn't have my middle name. I don't remember what it was, but it was just like the name was all correct and stuff. But sometimes other brands will write my last name as Kofuzi, and actually what happened to me in London the first time when I was with sports stores. The only time I've been with sports stores so far. This will be my second time. But they had me listed as Michael Kofuzi. And so when I checked into the hotel, they're like, we don't have a reservation for you. And I was like, okay. There's a problem, but I mean, it's London, it's England. There's plenty of hotels. It'll be expensive and inconvenient to find one now, but we'll figure it out. We figured it out. They had me under a Kofuzi. Although it was weird because they even showed me, like, they turned their monitor around to let me look at all the Ks. And I was like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, take a look. And I didn't see. Anyway, they found it eventually. So sometimes that happens where people have me listed under Michael Kofuzi, or they just have me as first name Kofuzi, and then they don't. So there's just stuff like that happens, I guess. Stevie76 says, Oktoberfest afterwards. I originally wanted to do a bullet train or a high-speed rail to Munich, and then have my wife meet me there. It was way too expensive by the time we thought about doing it, and so we're gonna try and find another time where we can maybe do Oktoberfest. But instead, I think is it too late to try and book a table or make a reservation at a place for Berlin Oktoberfest? I was just thinking I could probably just go to a bar in Berlin and that'll be close enough for my American experience. That's what I was thinking. But, I love a good wheat beer. So I feel like a nice warm wheat beer on a chilly day. Weather should be really good for Berlin, knock on wood. But yeah. Andrew Walker says, yo, what's going on? I'm excited to be running my first marathon at Indy in November. What race shoes should I be looking at as a quote unquote beginner? Training for a 350 finish, if that helps. Well, I mean, like, Andrew, I think a lot of it's going to depend on what you're currently racing in now and what you're doing your workouts in now. Because if you're doing a 350, I'm guessing you're doing some speed work, right? So if you're doing your speed work or you're doing your long runs with a little bit of maybe marathon effort sprinkled in there, like, are those shoes currently meeting your needs? Do you feel like you can run your whole race there? Or do you want something more aggressive? If you want something more aggressive, then I think like telling me what you like can really help. If you're just using your daily trainer for all the shoes and you're like, well, maybe for a race, I want something else. I'd say with Indy coming up, this is a perfect time to be asking that question. And I think you should be trying to get it really soon so you can have it for those biggest workouts. I'd say without any other information, I'd say look at shoes like you can either look at long run shoes, which tend to be a little bit on the heavier side, or kind of like training companion or like workout speed session shoes. And so for speed session shoes, I would look at stuff like the Deviate Nitro 3, Endorphin Speed 4. Those are two really great examples there. Some people will really like the New Balance SC Trainer version. What is it? 3? That could also be a really great one. But there's also really great carbon plated shoes that I think kind of like are in that same caliber too, like the Endorphin Pro 4 or the New Balance SC Elite 4. Those are closer to those workout shoes than they are to other carbon plated racers, I would say. Or if you want just something super aggressive, go with something super aggressive. There's nothing wrong with that. It's your money and your feet, So if you want a Metaspeed Sky Paris, great. I feel like that could be a great choice for you. Or if you wanted a Nike option, also fine. Absolutely fine. Lots of people do it. So let me know if you have any other questions other than that. Pickle says, what's your go-to running watch? Currently, I'm running in a Garmin 265. I wish I could say the 255 is fine. It's the same exact watch, just with a less flashy screen. But the 265 screen is so nice. I really like it. And is it worth like the extra $100 or so that it costs to get to it? That nicer, or however much it costs extra to get to that nicer screen? I'm not sure, but I don't like anything else right now. All right. Vanessa Martinez says, shoe question. When you find a shoe that works for you, do you buy backups when you see it on sale? Is it like stocking up on toilet paper or soap in your pantry? Personally, for me, no, because I got to try new shoes. But my running buddy, he is very picky on shoes. He loved the Beacon 3, 2 and 3, for example. And whenever shoes change, he spends months trying to find another one, and he usually gets a little bit injured in the process. So for him, I always tell him, like, once you find a shoe that works again for you, buy all of them. Buy as many. Wait till they go. He has like Google alerts set, so whenever he sees like a price drop, he'll go buy another pair or two. You know what I mean? When I did the video on the Nike Pegasus Plus, there were people in the comments saying that they still have fresh pairs because they bought them. I mean, I feel like five years is a long time. I don't know what the degradation rate is like. I've never run in a new 5-year-old pair of shoes. That would kind of worry me a little bit, but I would say, buy 3 or 4. Wait till they go on sale, buy 3 or 4. Stock up. For sure, stock up. Calvin says, what gels will you be using at the race, and have you worked out the race day shoe? I do know the race day shoe. I can't tell you what it is yet. But you guys will know soon enough. I think you guys can guess. And for gels, I'll be using Science and Sport. I'm so lazy. I unboxed them here and I haven't moved the box, but it's convenient. These are the ones that I'll be using. I'll probably bring 3 of each, 3 caffeine and 3 isotonic, just the regular non-caffeinated. So the caffeinated ones taste like medicine. It tastes worse than medicine. It tastes like what you imagine a gel cap would taste like if you opened it up and poured it in your mouth. It's not great. The flavor, not good. The lemon lime one, the non-caffeinated one, really tasty. Tastes like flat Sprite, kind of. But I'll bring 3 of each. They work for me. It's easy on my stomach, and it's kind of, since it is a little voluminous, it's kind of like taking on a little bit of fluid. Taking on a little bit of fluid with each gel too. So, yeah. All right, let's see. Let me scroll down here. Eric says, "Oh, the Science and Sport is awful. Can't handle the caffeine ones, but hey, whatever you got." The caffeinated ones don't always taste bad. It's just these. I have another. I think it's orange. There's another citrusy flavor that I've had that tastes fine, that I've also really enjoyed. But this, or maybe it's just this batch, tastes gross. Daniel Burns says, what time are you shooting for? I think weather's going to be good. I've been feeling pretty good lately. I've been taking vitamin B and vitamin D supplements the last couple months, and I think it's finally starting to make a difference. And I've been sleeping more since I haven't been traveling nearly as much. So I'm feeling good and optimistic, and I really like the shoe that I'm going to be running in. So it's not going to be a PR attempt, but I'm thinking, ironically, given all the Boston qualifier discussions that have been happening in my socials the past week and change, I'll probably shoot for a BQ for my next age group, which is 315. So 315 is kind of like my B goal. A goal will be 310. A plus goal would be under 310. And then C goal is to just make sure I get that 6-star. So I'm going to run hard. I'm not the most fit I've ever been. Training just got real weird. I don't like summer training. And I traveled like crazy. So there's that. CV76 says, the vitamin runner. I normally don't take vitamins because whenever I take a multivitamin, I don't know why. Maybe it's a weird kind of, not a placebo effect, but analogous to it, the anti-placebo effect. Whenever I take a multivitamin, it seems to exacerbate my vertigo. So I get very nervous about taking supplements. But I started taking some. I did a blood test a while ago. Sage and Sandy wanted me to do one just to make sure I wasn't low on stuff. And nothing was low, but like vitamin B and vitamin D were like as low as you can be and not be off the chart. And they were like, that basically means you're way too low. So I started taking some stuff. Mm. All right. Let's get to some packages today. We got a couple of packages. Two that I've had for a long time that I kind of forgot about because I was waiting for the one. The one is because I was waiting for the right time to open it because I got it a while ago. But now we're talking about races, and this is the right time. It's from a company. They have their own tape, Pen and Paces. I do think it's a nice touch when companies have like their own packing tape. And what these are is, oh, there's a big package. There's a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so these are bib kits. And what it is you can, instead of like using tape to write your name out or like using like a Sharpie to like magic marker your name, you can like, they sell these little bibs that you can put your name on. So like they have stickers for letters and then little pins. And the thing is small. The idea being it's not supposed to take up that much more space above your already large bib. So you can just have this little thing on top. So they got this one. This one is a Chicago design. It's pretty cute. Let's see what else we got here. We've got a, oh, there's a New York design. That's not, I do like that. Let's see what else we got here. I wonder if there's, oh, and if you're dedicating your run to someone, there's that too. So that's pretty cool. They emailed me about this a long time ago. They gave it to me a long time ago. And I forgot about it for a while. But there we go. Glad I remembered. So for those of you running Chicago, New York, or running any race where you're dedicating it and running it in honor of somebody, there you go. Make it a little bit easier for the spectators to be able to cheer for you or your loved one, you know. Eric says, write Dr. Co on it. Okay. All right. This other one I found because I was cleaning out my car for the first time in way too long. And I found a package behind something that I've been meaning to take to the donation center, and I just haven't donated. So this is from For the Run. I have had it for a long time. Look at this. Sun's out, Tums out. You know whose merch this is? It's Herm's. I am a runner, right foot or left foot. Nice. Look at this. Alex says, sick hat, dude. Nice. I was complaining because it took a long time to get from pre-order. I pre-ordered this the first day. I saw it and it took me a while to get it. But then again, I lost it in my own car. So that's my fault. But I'll rock this in Berlin. Berlin's not going to know what happened to it when it sees this, especially in a country that culturally doesn't like shirtless running. I think it's going to be a little cold for Tums out running in Berlin, though. But we'll be doing it in spirit, right? So there we go. I'm glad that I was wondering where that was. Awesome. Adam says, have you experimented with sodium bicarb? I have not, but I was listening to the podcast with Matt Chittum and David Roche, and he was talking about how it really worked for him really well. And I was like, I don't want to do the bicarb. It looks gross. Although my favorite movie is The Matrix, and it looks like the food that they eat in The Matrix. And I feel like that would, sometimes I say there is no spoon when I'm hurting a lot in a race too. And I feel like maybe that works for me. You know, if I ate the bicarb the day before, chanting there is no spoon as I'm hitting the wall at mile 20, maybe that'll all work well together. But it's too late to experiment with it now, but maybe for my next race, I'll experiment with it, you know. Eliza says, I just rewatched The Matrix yesterday. You know what's amazing about that? Other than the cell phones that they use, I feel like that movie still holds up, right? It doesn't look dated, does it? Maybe it does. I don't know. Shannon says, isn't bicarb for like sprinting? That was always my gut reaction to it. Like, you don't need it, and the amounts you need to be able to make it help you, even if you do need it, give you like a 50-50 shot of it working for you or it giving you explosive diarrhea. And I was like, that's not, I'm a gambling man, but I don't like those odds. But there's something about like they use their gel capsule technology so that it releases a little bit more slowly so your body can technically handle it. Not technically, can practically hand it in a practical way. So, all right. Jairus Rayo says, "What's the bib company's name?" The bib kit company's name is Pen and Paces. Pen and Paces. There you go. And Vanessa says, Philly and Alio have used bicarb for longer runs. That makes sense for Alio because that David Roach is her coach. But yeah, I don't want to try it, but I feel like maybe I should try it. Oh, Daniel Burton says, Seth got second overall at the Pikes Peak Ascent. That's amazing. Did they have to adjust the course for the snow? They did. I thought I saw something about it. Or was that just for the marathon? Or I don't know. Adam says he has the same question about ketones. I'm interested in ketones. I really want ketones to not work. So like if I'm going to admit a bias, I wish that people would look at it later and be like, that whole thing was about as helpful as AG1. You know what I mean? That's kind of like in my gut, that's kind of what I feel. And I also currently do not want to buy any product that's ever been made by the company that makes the ketones. I just never will buy a product from them. So I did get contacted at one point. My management was like, hey, this other company makes ketones. You want to try? I was like, sure, have them send it. And they never sent it. So I don't know. So I don't know if ketones work. It sounds like crypto for runners, but David Roach did mention in another podcast, a different podcast, that he's seeing some data that indicates that it may have a benefit, but I don't know. I'll try sodium bicarb before I try ketones. All right. Adam says the ascent did go to the top and the marathon turned halfway-ish. Oh man, that's amazing. Awesome. Matthias Ventus says, I was just talking about The Matrix at work the other day and how it's one of the few movies that I remember where I saw it first. I don't remember where I saw it first. I must have seen it in the movie theater. I love that movie. All right. Got a couple more packages here. This one came by FedEx, and I'm not sure why it would have had to have been FedEx to me. Because it's a single pair of socks. From Jogology. Jogology sending more socks. I have been enjoying the Jogology socks that I've been using lately. So I'm happy to wear them. These are a little bit taller than I'm used to. What is this, quarter crew length? This is nice. Is this a medium? Medium cushion. It feels a little bit thicker, but yeah, cool. I do prefer black socks. I know colored socks show up better and look nice for people that are trying to market socks, but as far as socks that I like to wear, I like black ones. But I have been enjoying Jogology socks. They've been pretty good. I don't know why they sent that to me, and I don't know why they had to FedEx it. Yeah. Alf Dickens says, are you likely to try a park run out before ketones? I hope so. I would love to do a park run. I want to do a park run. I also want to go to watch, because I can't compete in it. I want to watch a Friday Night Under the Lights in Battersea Park. Is that what they do in Battersea? I would want to watch that. But I would probably also have my YouTube live stream open at the same time. But yeah, there's lots of stuff that I want to do. And Al says, I do think the Central Berlin one's closed down marathon weekend, by the way. Yeah, I wasn't going to look for one, but I was thinking in the UK I'd like to do one. I didn't know they had them in Berlin. All right, let's do one more package. I got one last thing, and this is one that I bought myself. It is a package I got from Bandit. Now, if this is what I think it is, it's going to be a little early for these. But the thing with Bandit is, if you see something that you might want at some time in the future and it's available for sale, you got to buy it when you see it because that stuff sells out. So it is their long tight. Now, I have a pair of Bandit long tight, full, or just regular tights, I guess, since half tights are half. These are just tights because they're not half tights. They're the full length. I think it's the same. Oh, no, these have more pockets. These have like these little kind of like gel chambers up top and then a side pocket and then also a zipper pocket that goes deep. Unless it's not that deep. Wait, does it go deep? It goes halfway through. So there's another pocket in the back. So you could fit another gel in there maybe. Not a phone though. So they're a little bit different than the one I have. They feel like they might be a little bit thicker than the one I had before too. So better for cold weather running. And the color that I have is like purple, maroon, somewhere in that family. Burgundy? No, it's not burgundy. Merlot. I think Merlot is the name of the color, maybe. So I wanted a black pair. So I got these. These will definitely get a lot of use once it starts to cool off, which I cannot wait for. I am so much not a hot weather runner. I just can't stand the warm temperatures. But yeah. Sean Regan says, the gel chambers are so nice on my half tights. 10 out of 10 recommend. They're not too small. I feel like they're kind of like, they feel like they'd be finicky. But I guess as long, you're not like putting the gel in and out. You just need to take it out once, right? So then I guess it'd be okay. It might be hard to like shove them in there the first time, but once they're in, they're in. I think I was having a conversation I wasn't having a conversation. I guess I was having a conversation. I was driving with Ashley Mateo while I was in Boulder, and she was having a conversation with someone about the Bandit sports bra that has the gel chambers in them. And I was like, you can reach that? Because they're like around the back strap. There's 6 spots for gels in this sports bra. And I was like, you can reach like that? I was like, I don't think if I could reach if there was a gel behind me. Maybe I could. It'd be hard though. You know, I'd probably end up taking out too many at once. And she's like, no, I could reach them just fine. I'm like, oh, you're way more flexible than I am. And she said she really liked it. I'm like, that's not like finicky. She's like, no, you're not putting them back in. You're just taking them out. So you just reach back there and pluck one out. So I was like, okay. All right. So maybe I'll try putting some gels in the gel things, but I don't know if these tall boys will fit in the Bandit ones. I think you gotta run with Martins then. Onard Pogi says, did I say that right? Onard Pogi says, hey, Cole, what's your gel strategy? I think it's going to be basically anytime I feel like taking a gel, I'm going to take one, or 4 miles, whichever comes first. Because sometimes I notice like the first one, 4 miles, I don't feel like taking it, but it feels like I shouldn't go longer than that without taking a gel. 4 miles for me is about 28 to 30 minutes. And then usually in the middle of the race, I feel like I want one, like I usually end up wanting 2 like almost in a row. And then towards the end, I don't feel like I want any, but I'm going to try to make myself eat all of them. So that's kind of the plan, is to like not be so structured with it and like let my body tell me when I need them, and unless it wants to go too long. So. Sega Dreamcast says, when I pulled my first gel from my half tights at mile 4 at grandma's, another flopped out with it. Nothing I could do about it. Was a mortifying moment. That's pretty terrifying. Because what are you going to do? Go back for it? I guess you could, depending on the situation. If you're in a big pack, maybe not, you know. But yeah, I haven't had that problem too much. Even with these bigger science and sport ones, I usually like can pick it up. I find it by the top and just slide it right out. You know, I don't know why I made a slurping sound with that, but yeah. Caleb Beck, since I should try the sports bra. I mean, for a while, do you guys remember? For a while, there was a brand. Maybe I didn't see it that much this summer, but maybe it's because I'm not running along the lakefront anymore in Chicago that I don't see it. But there's this brand that they sell this thing that basically is a sports bra. It's intended for men and women, and it has a Velcro pocket up front, kind of like what they give to cops in tactical gear. I'm guessing that's what it's inspired by. But basically, it's a sports bra with a Velcro patch on the front. And then when you open it, there is like a plastic clear window so you could see your phone. So you can like look at your phone, snap it back shut. The only thing it carries, as far as I can tell, is a phone. And I was like, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I'll go back to an armband for my phone first before I run in that. But people were running it. I'm like, you guys aren't hot. And I never said that to anyone. I should have just accosted someone. And like, that's not hot. It seems really hot. What are you getting out of that you can just put on a running pack? I don't understand. You know what I mean? I just didn't understand the male sports bra version of that. But it exists. It exists. And Adam says it's in Berlin, so it has to be in kilometers, not miles. My watch is still going to be in miles, though, Adam. So I'm not switching it over. I do split my watch at 5Ks. So like I'm keeping track of the Ks. And that's really all I really care about. But then I'll see my watch and it'll tell me I'm at mile 8-ish. So I'll be like, all right, time to take another gel kind of thing. Shannon says, I've been taking 100 grams of carbs an hour for my workouts, and I'm wondering if I can keep that up for a whole marathon. 200 to 300 grams. That seems like a lot. The highest that I've been able to take using both gels and a handheld filled with sport drink is like, I think 60 to 70 an hour. And that felt like a lot to me. And I wrote about it and people were like, triathletes can get over 100 an hour. And I'm like, I'm not sitting on a bike sipping with a straw. So it's a little bit different trying to take in a lot of calories. But I understand the point that person was making. I just haven't tried running with more. And a lot of times on those days where I do take more than 40 an hour, the rest of the day I just feel terrible. So I don't know. Shannon says, oops, 100 grams every 75 minutes. So what does that mean? Like 60 something grams an hour. I think you could do 60 something grams an hour for a whole race. Jason Horner says, soccer/football players wear that sports bra for data tracking. Pretty much every player wears it now. No way. I need to see pictures of that. I mean, don't send me pictures. Maybe I'll look for it later. But I find that hard to believe. I'm not saying you're making something up, but that's one of those things that's a surprise. That's a surprise. Shannon says, with her carb drink, she can fit 60 grams in a 20-ounce handheld. I've been using, remember that I unboxed that one, Hydro Pack one? Is basically a soft flask with a little handle on it. It had a thumb hole. That thing has saved my life this summer. I've been running with that. On hard runs, that'll usually be like my first lap, and then I'll set out bottles on my car for other laps that I need to run for like every 4 miles or so. I've been going through that, but that only holds like 14 ounces, I want to say. I still just make it extra concentrated, so I'm getting like 20 grams of sugar in that, but I'll do that and like a gel, and then sometimes 2 gel an hour, depending on how hard I'm working. So that's how I get to 60, 2 gels and a handheld. So I don't know. Maybe I need to do more than 6 gels. I have to think about that. I haven't even thought about the math because I'm going to be taking fluid along the course. But yeah, I might need to I don't want to bring more than 6 gels. It seems like a lot. Sean Devlin says, I'm not a soccer fan, but I was watching Welcome to Wrexham. I noticed them all wearing them in the locker room. Do they keep their phones in there, or is it something a little bit different? I don't know. Calvin says it's legit. It's called Catapult. Uses UWB and Bluetooth 5 for super accurate GPS data. They need that much GPS data on a soccer field? What for? I mean, okay. I mean, I guess if I were an up-and-coming soccer player and everyone else on the soccer team was wearing these and, like, you got to wear these and it'll help you, I would totally wear it, even if it's a man sports bra and it made you hotter, I guess. I don't know. I'm very susceptible to peer pressure, I think. Miller Furnace says, what about starting with a handheld with scratch high carb? I've thought about it, but I have been running with my selfie stick and a handheld all summer long. It's not a huge deal. I just don't want to do it in Berlin at the race. That's my concern. And with the temperatures going to be, knock on wood, in the 40s for the start of the race, I think, I don't know that I'm going to need to go through as much liquid as I normally do. So maybe I'll just try and steal a whole bunch of Martins along the course and eat those too to add some more sugar. I don't know. I feel like I should be probably a little bit more precise than this. Jason Horner says, try the SIS beta fuels and you can take one fewer, but your stomach has to be able to handle 40 grams at a time. Mine cannot. I have a box of them still. Well, actually, I think I finished it. I've been just using them to eating them on my regular runs because I just don't like it. Feel great taking the one, but then I don't want to take any more after that. And so like I feel like I need to kind of take more of like almost like a UCAN approach. I gotta not have so many peaks because the valleys are what mess me up, Okay, Jack C says the GPS is used for seeing the productivity of a player. Did they stay in position? Did they make a lot of out of position / wasted runs? What was the total demand put on them throughout the game? And bragging rights. Interesting. I guess is that easier than just running the video footage through? But I guess the video footage might not track every player all the time. Interesting. Okay. Lila Lou says, as a nearly 5-hour marathoner, I have to bring way too many gels. I love the second half of the race where my waist pack lightens up. Isn't that a good feeling? I feel that way on any long runs where I'm carrying a bunch of fluid. I don't see. That's why I like. For a 3:15 attempt for me, which is gonna be work for me to do. It's a B goal, but not the fastest I've ever run. I kind of wish I could just take a hydration pack and put a bunch of like 2 liters of fluid in the back and run with that. And it is really nice when it starts to empty out because you just feel so much lighter. Sama says, is the Berlin Marathon the flattest of the world majors? I don't know. I haven't actually looked at it. No, you know what? I did look at it a little bit because when I was with Ashley, she looked at her Strava and the elevation on that one. Berlin is half as hilly as Chicago. So of the world majors, I do think that Berlin is. Tokyo is also really flat, so I don't know. All right. Colin says, yo, what's going on? I had my last long run of my training plan yesterday. Getting nervous for my first half. Awesome, Colin. That's amazing. Hopefully the long run went well and you're recovering, getting some extra sleep, and making sure you're still getting in a bunch of calories to let your body build itself back up stronger as you taper. I'm excited for your first half. That's awesome. Matthew L176 says, I alternate between the Science 20 grams and the Beta Fuel 40 grams every 35 minutes during my last marathon. It definitely kept me going, but I got a pretty strong stomach. I feel like I have a pretty strong stomach. I have an ultra marathoner stomach. You know what I mean? Like I can eat a full meal and go run. That won't be a problem. But if I have too many, I can't do like 6 Martins anymore in a race. I won't throw up, but my stomach will just feel like crap, you know? So I don't know. Calvin says, would you rather try to PR on the Boston course or on a track? I don't know that I would want to run a marathon on a track. I think that's what you're asking? That sounds pretty boring to me. But I would definitely want to do it on a track over Boston. Boston's hard. It's a hard course. It's not. I mean, it's hard. There are many hills, but it's also very tricky. There's a lot of traps. All those downhills. It's easy to go a little bit too hard. Even if you know better. So it always kind of tempts. It's constantly tempting you to go just a little bit too hard. And Wojciech Malkowicz says, hey, Mike, what do you have scheduled for after the race? I don't have any other. Houston, I think, is my next race. After that, I'll be running the half there. We're going to have a big shakeout run for that one. It should be really fun. So I'm trying to do more with Houston. Or not with Houston. I'm not doing anything with them. But at Houston. So that should be pretty fun. I've had such a good time watching that race and running that race. And last year I did the half and then came out and cheered for people afterwards. And I just felt like I felt like a dog at a dog park, just like so excited to see everyone I knew. And I'm going to do that again this year. So it's going to be fun. Gabrielle Rolanu says, I'll be in Berlin to cheer the runners and join the guys that believe in the run for a shakeout run. We have any events planned for Berlin. It would be amazing to see you around there for a run as well. I don't have any events that I'm doing personally that I'm hosting, but I'm most likely going to be at the Believe in Run event as well. So I'll see you there. Faiz Nasur says, hey, Kofuzi, I'm running New York City Marathon for the first time. Any advice, insight on prep or general advice? Other than work a lot of hills, because it's hilly. Both steep hills and long, gradual ones. It has both. So you want to be ready for both of those things. Other than that, I would say prepare for a long morning. The morning is very long before you even start running. So it's just, you got to bring a lot of extra food. And if it's going to be cold or wet, you got to be prepared for that. And Colin said, I also signed up for the Eugene Marathon 2025. That's awesome. I hear that's a great race. Should be a lot of fun. You finish right in Hayward Field, right? It looks awesome. That's great. Yeah, Steve says Berlin has 241 feet of gain from the Google machine, and Chicago, I think, was around 400-ish. Those are about the numbers that Ashley had. She said she had like 436 and 236. I might be inventing the 36s since it's on both, but somewhere in that range. It was like twice as much elevation gain in Chicago than Berlin, and it's because Chicago has all those little bridges that you're going over every time you cross over a river. So that's where you get that from. Adam says LA is harder than Boston. Is it? LA is hard. Especially without that Santa Monica finish. I met some runners from LA when I was in Boulder with Solomon. And they're like, oh, we ran LA once. I was like, did you get to run the Santa Monica finish? They're like, yes. And I was like, I did not. I never had to. I never got to. And they're like, we're not going to run it again until it goes back to Santa Monica. And I'm like, I hope it does. And Calvin says about New York, I'd bring food for New York if you're not in an early corral/wave. There's lots of downtime. Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's good advice. And AJ wants to know, did I get any heel rub for the Mach X2? I did not at all. And like, remember, I told you about it in the Puma Fast RB. Like, this shoe will make you bleed your own blood if you don't have tall socks on. And the Endorphin Elite, the first one, that one, the top of the toe box made me bleed my own blood on that one. I'll let you guys know if it hurts, but the Mach X2 didn't give me a single problem. I don't know, but some people definitely were like, yeah, that's made me bleed. So it's a thing. Just didn't bother me, even with my lower socks. Maybe I wore sufficiently. I was probably I might have been wearing Jogologies. They tend to have a little bit of a lip at the top, but I don't know. I don't remember what socks I was wearing. Calvin says, you need the obligatory Simpsons gif. I feel like I need that on a button. Kind of like this button. I need like a ha, and then like bleed your own blood picture. That's a button. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to launch something. I guess you'd have to play a file that also plays a sound. That's what I need. I don't know. Luis says, LA Marathon is hard, but I like it a lot. Doing it for the third time in 2025. I really want to go back to LA for 2025. I don't know if 2025 will be the year. Maybe it'll be 2026. But I would like to go back. And I'm thinking that I might like to go back and raise money for charity so that I could run the half. Because running a full in LA just seems so daunting, especially since I'd have to train. Even though I like training in the winter, it means I'd have to train through the winter here in Crystal Lake. But training for a half seems much more manageable. And then I can also raise money for charity. So I'm thinking about that for 2025 or 2026. 2025 is going to be a weird year for me. I'm going to be kind of all over, literally and figuratively. So I got to kind of figure out, how does all this stuff fit together? All right. I think that's going to be a good place to leave it for today, guys. For everyone else that is getting ready for Berlin, travel safe. I'll see you guys there. Let's get a selfie in Berlin because I think that'll be awesome. For everyone else, if you're tapering for Chicago or you're training for New York or Indy or Marine Corps, any of those fall marathons, hope your long runs go well. I will see you when I get back. I don't know if we'll have one that Monday when I get back. But if not, I'll see you like a week from Thursday at the latest. All right, guys. Be safe out there. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.